Cheers, mate.
Cheers to the Cuppa Jo Show's second episode.
Alright, so welcome back, guys, to the second episode of the Cuppa Jo Show. We are super happy and super delighted to be here for you guys all over again. I just want to start off by saying that there's nothing that makes me more happy and delighted than when someone reaches out to us and tells us that they enjoyed our show and that they watched it. There's no feeling better than that. And I just want to say and thank you from Ahan's side and my side that we are really grateful for all the comments, the views, the likes, and the feedback that you sent us. So really thankful for that, and hopefully we can keep doing this in the further months to come.
And I can't emphasize more upon how much we value feedback. I had so many friends come up to me and told me that like I want to be part of this podcast. I want to talk to you guys in this setting. And we also had some comments on YouTube.
Yep.
One of the guy did not really resonate with the Adani topic as
So
much.
yeah, one guy kind of got a bit pissed off.
I think that whole topic just went right through his head. We weren't trying to like
I think
put Adani down.
Context really matters, right? And
Yeah.
maybe our tone wasn't so bad, to be honest, but maybe he
Yeah.
took us the wrong way. And
100%.
it's fine. We did have a conversation with him in the comments itself, and he was happy to hear what we had to say. That we do understand that there's no free lunch in the financial markets.
We have to give it to him that was extremely civil. He maintained a lot of civility,
Yep.
a lot of respect. If you want to give us feedback, it can be negative. I actually emphasize more on negative feedback. I like negative feedback because that is the most
we
constructive.
can only say that because we only got one of those.
Yeah.
If we were getting like 50 or 60 of those, we wouldn't be saying that, and maybe we wouldn't be here for the second one.
Dude, imagine if you were Kanye West, dude. Imagine if you were Kanye West.
So Kanye West. So before we get to the entire debacle around Kanye West, so what is the crux of the entire Kanye problem? It's marriage, right? It's getting married. And about that, I have one thing to share with you.
Before you start, would you say that his spiral to wherever he is now is because he got divorced?
Bro, the guy went from singing Gold Digger to now paying child support. Something went wrong for sure.
$200,000 per month.
And that's a lot. And maybe the wife makes more money than him itself, and still she's getting child support. So I'm not sure how that works, but it's kind of a bit sad.
He just lost $1 billion because of contractual deals, and he's down to his last $400 million. So
I mean, I would take that. I would take 400 million.
He's on the streets. 400 million is too less. He's on the streets. But regardless, I think Kim is way more rich than Kanye is.
Definitely she is. So first, 4 to 5 people in my school are getting married or already got married. And they're like 22, 21.
Wait, 2021?
Yep. And they're already getting married or planning to get married.
What?
I mean, look, I'm no one to comment on anyone's marriage or how they want to conduct their own lives. But you have to be really stupid to get married at 21 or 22.
I haven't even completed my education. I feel like I haven't done anything in my life. I'm 21 years old. I'm turning 22 in like 8 months. But I haven't done anything in my life to get married. I feel like to get married, you need to do so many things. You need to reach so many checkpoints in life. You need to build up, settle down, earn a lot of bank, and then get settled. Do you have any idea what was going through their minds when
Look, I can't really comment on what was going through their minds because I wasn't aware of the process itself. But what I do know is, if in this era you're not forced by your parents to get married, look, if you got forced, I have empathy for you. I'm sad for you. But if you didn't get forced and this was your decision and you don't have unlimited money, why would you do it? Like this, no one can pretty much convince me that it's a good decision. There's no one who can do that. I'm not against marriage, but I am an advocate for being self-aware. You need to do what's right for you, and you need to live your own life before you make such a big decision. And maybe good luck to all the people who got married and who have kids. I mean, I have nothing to do with it, but I think it's pretty stupid.
Do you have some things that you want to do before you get married that you have to do?
Yes, I want to live my life before I end it.
What?
Definitely.
That's okay, fair. But like, what do you mean by living life? Like, what are some activities or so? What would be some things that you do before ending your life?
I think it's pretty safe to say that right now, I live based off my parents' money, right? I live in the house, I eat the food, and they pay for all my luxuries and everything else.
Likewise.
So getting married right now for me would be to have another kid at home. It's like adopting another kid. What's the point of that?
For your parents.
For my parents, exactly. And even, it doesn't matter how it goes for me. It's definitely not going to go super well for my parents. Because this is something which I think people should do after they're competent enough or they're settled enough to support themselves. And then they can have someone else to support. Now, I'm not saying marriage is just about supporting other people, But I think self-awareness is really important in this scenario.
So would you say that these people who you know in your school who are married now, would you say that they're not settled in life and they're just living off their parents' money?
I think they're completely.
Dude, you cannot say that word. You
I
can't say that word.
I can't.
I don't
sorry.
know. I don't care to be
Sorry.
honest. I don't care to be honest. I can say it. It's like
Okay,
it's-
I have a confession to make.
yeah.
In the first episode, I think that I was not fair and not just to all the audience and to you, and more importantly to myself. Do you know why?
Yeah, tell me.
Because I thought I was going a bit too easy, and that's not the real me. That's not who I am off camera. I'm a person who's a bit more vocal about his opinions, and they might not always be politically correct. But here's the thing, there's a paradox. You have to balance entertainment with not getting cancelled. How do we do that? Is it really easy to be entertaining without being a bit, toxic or controversial? I don't think so. But at the same time, are we looking forward to get cancelled before we even begin our careers?
I mean, most people that were born from the TikTok era actually rose from the cancel culture because of the cancel culture. You know, Bad Baby.
Yeah,
Bad
of
Baby.
course.
She was
of
in
course.
She was in Dr. Phil, right?
Yeah.
And she said all these outrageous things. A lot of people from Dr. Phil itself gain so much more traction on maybe YouTube, Facebook, Instagram because they show this complete. Yeah, I'd go and say they're fake images, that they're all these fear mongers, social climbers. I'd say that they're actually making an act. They're not those real messed up people. And I was looking at this reaction by PewDiePie on YouTube.
Yep.
He was reacting to this guy who went to Dr. Phil
Yep.
because his mother wasn't giving him allowance more than $1,000.
Okay. Oh yeah, I've seen
He's
that. I've
17
seen
years
that one.
old
I've seen
and
that
he
one.
needs $1,500 allowance a month to
Dude,
buy
what,
Gucci
what do
shoes.
you need 80,000 rupees
To
for?
buy Gucci shoes.
Of course.
So, and after Dr. Phil, he's getting out of the blue, he's getting 100k views on his YouTube videos, and he's finally gotten the traction that he needs. And YouTubers will now pay for his allowance that his mother
Okay. Wow.
is not paying for anymore.
That worked out for him.
So I feel like you have to offend people to make a statement. You have to offend people to be known.
Yep.
So I concur with you. I feel like I wasn't very open myself.
Exactly. Yeah.
And 5 years ago, the word I'm going to use it as quotation so people don't cancel me already. If the cameras were off, the mics were off, I would say the word with you.
Yeah.
I'll be completely honest.
Yeah.
I would say the word. I would say the word. So I'm going to give you two statements.
Yeah.
Statement A is I hate black people, and statement B is
That's in quotations, right? That's
yeah,
in quotations.
it's in quotation. Statement A.
Yeah.
And statement B is you're my. What's more racist?
For the sake of the camera, both are, but maybe the first one is more racist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There is no intent to the second statement because I'm trying to say that you're my brother, you're my man. That is what the N word means in this statement.
Yep.
I didn't say the word, but I'm gonna say that as a statement A and B. That's what proceeded.
Who was the guy who did a similar thing and did not get cancelled on
iDubbbz.
YouTube? iDubbbz, exactly.
iDubbbz.
Yeah. I remember. He went to some girls' concert.
Tana
and said,
Mongeau.
Yeah. I remember that.
I remember that content cop so well.
Content Cop used to be a hit before it got a bit saturated. I don't know what happened with him.
Rice Gum was the last content cop.
Yeah.
And it hit. And he lost like 1 million subscribers.
But I think both of the careers of both the content creators did go down after that. So it wasn't
yeah,
really
I mean, Rice Gum is
situation.
completely relevant now. I feel like he's completely relevant. He posted a content call for Rice Gum with Jake Paul on
Yeah,
it.
I remember.
And it wasn't about Jake Paul, but Jake Paul still lost subscribers, like 200,000 subscribers.
So that guy did have a lot of influence at that time.
He still does. So you want to talk about we were kind of circling around this whole Kanye debacle.
Yeah. Let's get back to Kanye West, the man of the hour.
Yeah.
So what went wrong with him?
I believe that he is lost in his own mind. I feel like he has. There was this term in psychology, where the person who is going through this trauma believes that everyone is kind of planning against him, plotting against him, and Kanye is going through the exact same thing. But he has taken it in the worst way possible. So I saw a reel.
Yeah.
I saw a reel of a paparazzi going to Kanye West, and
When he goes early in the morning. That one?
no, that's way earlier.
That's pretty funny.
I'm talking about the Jew debacle of him making illicit
The
comments.
anti-Semitic comments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this paparazzi goes up to him and says, "Do you want to take those comments back?" And he pulls up his phone. he types up something, he opens up an Excel sheet, and shows all the media executives that has targeted him,
Okay.
and 90% of the list was marked in red, and he said the names marked in red are all Jews,
Oh, I've
which
seen
is
that.
which is kind of insane. But even still, like it's the case of if a few bad apples doesn't make the whole farm rotten. It's just I feel like he's picked up a certain people as an example. Okay, 9 out of 10 people
No, but-
are just coincidentally Jews.
I don't see the issue in a way that why are people getting so upset about Kanye? My main question is that why do you hold anyone in your life so high that he goes and says something on TV and you get hurt about it? Why does what the guy says matter anyway? Or
So-
any celebrity, in fact.
So the thing is, I can give you a complete answer for that. So I've been the biggest Kanye West fan since I can remember. Like
Okay,
as soon
so
as I got
does
conscious,
this whole episode change your fandom towards him?
not at all, because I learned how polarizing Kanye West can be and how outspoken he is.
Yeah.
So I learned the art of differentiating between the art and the artist.
Yep.
When a new Kanye West album drops out, I don't think, okay, this guy made some anti-Semitic comments. I think it's Kanye West. I like Kanye West music. I'm gonna listen to it. I don't think
Makes
about
sense,
I
makes
don't
sense.
think about the anti-Semitic
Yeah, I have a
comments.
good example for that, right? Because so many people who are right now hating on Kanye West really jam to Michael Jackson. He used to touch kids.
Exactly.
Are you guys fine with that?
There hasn't ever been any celebrity that you might follow who hasn't been around a scandal.
Dude, the thing is, you need to know your own priorities and have to think for yourself. If I'm a person, if you're a person, you're an individual, I'm an individual. Let's just say the Cuppa Jo Show becomes the hottest show in the world 2 years from now, right? Even then, whatever we are saying, don't take it for gospel. Just take our word for what it's worth and have your own judgment. The problem is, people get disappointed when they make these people their idols, when they treat these people like gods. You're going to treat Kanye West like God, he's going to say something which you don't like, and then you're going to start questioning yourself and your own sanity. The problem is, he's an artist, he's a designer. Listen to his music, wear his shoes, and that's it. If you're going to think of him as some high noble spirit, then you're always going to be disappointed. He's just a guy, he's just a rich guy, it's fine.
And it tends to get so tough to differentiate the art from the artist again.
Yeah, definitely.
Whenever you follow someone's art, you look up to them so much because you want to be them.
Definitely.
Like I want to be like Kanye.
I have an article on this. It's called Invalidations and Skeptics. I put it up on my Medium. It's a shameless plug, I know. So, just have your own concepts. Go through life. Test things out for yourself. Some things would work, some things won't work. And have your own judgment about it. Stop worshipping these people. If you won't worship Kanye West, you'll never be disappointed. It's
But
fine.
it's very easy for you to say. I'm telling you, I'm coming from a place where I used to look up to. I never looked up to Kanye as a god or a gospel, but
a lot of people do.
But a lot of people do, and a lot of people look at Taylor Swift as their gods, or any artist per se, even actors.
I really wonder what went wrong with Kanye. The guy went from singing Gold Digger to singing about Jesus Christ, and now talking about the Nazis. Something really flipped in his head that this happened. I wonder why. I think it's Pete Davidson's fault.
Pete, I do not understand that man. I don't understand that man. He's dating the hottest woman in the world, Emily Rata. I'm going to say Emrata because I don't know how to pronounce her name.
That's fine.
This very weird comment about on YouTube was, I mean, that has no relevance whatsoever because it's just a comment on YouTube. But it was about Pete Davidson's mental health as well, about how he was trying to get into a long, meaningful relationship.
Another
he's just being played because
another topic which we'll get to shortly. Mental health.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. And he's just getting played because he's this messiah for women, like every high value women. Kim, Ariana Grande, now Emrata, and many more. I'm just not remembering their names, but it's just like an achievement unlocked. Dating Pete Davidson, I guess.
Yeah, like triumphs in the game.
That's what the comment said, and I was like, that is pretty interesting. That can be true. We've already seen the trend of people dating and then breaking up 20 years down the line, and then asking for alimony, which will break the other person's bank and liver and kidney. So
most important emotionally as well.
Yeah, and we have the evidence in hand to see that arranged marriages have worked statistically better than love marriages.
There's going to be a comment on this where people are going to be like, is this an anti-marriage podcast now? And no, it's not.
I mean, we're 21-year-old men, so I feel like we are not going to be talking about marriage so fondly, obviously. I remember I met someone for my first model ramp walk. I walked the ramp for Abu Jani and Sandeep Khosla. So I remember I was sitting with my friends in this restaurant called Leo's in Vasant Kunj.
Yeah.
So I was just having dinner,
Hmm.
and this random lady just comes up to me and my friend and says, "Guys, can you stand up for me?"
Oh.
I was like, "Excuse me, give me you know what? Sure, why not?"
Yeah.
So we did.
Hmm.
And then she's like, "Okay, you guys have an athletic build. You guys look a bit skinny but still muscular.
Hmm.
So have you guys ever modeled for anyone, or do you guys have any interest in modeling?" I was like, "Sure, why not?" Sure. So she's like, "Okay, guys, I'm gonna give you my number. You guys are gonna send me some photos and your details, and let's make it happen." So me and my friend did. We got called to this venue. I was like in half an hour drive. We went there. We got rejected. We were a bit too lanky for their needs as a model for their clothes.
How did that feel? When you said no initially.
I felt I was being body shamed but professionally. So I had to take it professionally.
Wait, hold up. Body shamed but professionally.
Yeah.
So does that reduce the pain?
It has to, because I cannot react in a way like, "Oh my god, how is that possible? You called me here, you wasted my time, and I'm not even. You guys looked at me and you now decide that I'm not fitting your clothes because exactly how you want." But this is what happens in the modeling world.
It's a tough life out there. Modeling,
100%.
These industries are pretty dark.
I mean, people who model are looked as like props. The guys and the men and the women who are in that clothing.
Everyone who exists is looked at like a prop.
That is a bit vague to say, but I'm talking more specifically for modeling because you're told to stand in a way. And when I did get a call for another audition, and I got that audition, me and my friend, we both got the audition. So a couple days down the line, we were called for practicing, and we practiced for like 10 hours in 2 days. So we were told to do something a bit seductive, and it was just like 10 guys. So
10 guys were told to do something
20 guys, and
with each
we were
other?
like, a seductive pose.
Why does it always come down to this in acting and modeling?
I don't know, dude. It was a bit overwhelming. But the people, everyone who was hosting, everyone who was directing the ramp walk, even Abu Jani and Sandeep Khosla, they were really, really, really cute about it. So they didn't force anyone into anything. They were like, do whatever you're comfortable with. And so I was like, there was a guy sitting right next to me.
Yeah.
He was on his knees and I was standing. I was like, I'll pull your hair a bit, and I think that's fine. And the guy Abu Jani really liked what I was doing. I was like, sure, I'm just gonna pull it. I'm sorry, dude.
It did.
I'm really sorry, dude, but I'm just gonna do this. I wasn't really losing anything, so like, sure.
Yeah, you weren't losing anything till that moment. Yeah.
A bit self-respect, but I got a lot of exposure. I saw a completely different world that I would not have seen any otherwise.
Would you go back?
It was, I would say, because of how I was awarded when it comes to the payment and money.
Yeah.
And the amount of labor hours I put in. I was there. I reached there one day at 9 a.m. and I left there at 2 a.m.
Okay.
And this happened 2 days in a row. So the day before the show, it was a bit longer, but before that it was okay.
Right.
But it was a lot of hours.
Yeah.
So I'd say if it's a good,
these people have tough lives, right? These people have tough lives because not only you have to maintain yourself as an individual, your bodies and everything. You have to hit the gym regularly. You have to eat clean. You have to do a lot of
maintain your hair.
You have to take care of your skin.
Yeah.
The whole skincare. It's expensive. It's time consuming. It's a whole different lifestyle. And even then, it's not guaranteed that you're going to do well. Yeah. Because you will still get rejected. It's not about being pretty or good looking because they get rejected all the time. It's about being connected.
I'll tell you something. I got a call for Manish Malhotra's audition as well.
Yeah.
I walked up there.
Manish Malhotra, yeah.
I walked up there to Manish Malhotra. He's sitting.
Were you scared?
Not at all. He was sitting with us 4 to 5 guys.
Yeah.
He
Of
didn't.
course.
He was checking his phone. He was checking some documents. I don't remember very well. And the other guys were recording, so for reference, with our names and our height and everything, in our portfolio images, left and right. So he was just like scrolling through his phone, and he didn't even look up at me.
Bro,
And he just said, "Thank you."
Yeah.
I was like, "What? Give me a glance if I'm good enough for you."
Bro, I don't think
you wasted my time,
I don't think he cares.
dude. You wasted my time. You wasted my. What do I say, dude? What do I say? But this is how it works. So if you
it's
haven't
a tough
done
life, definitely.
if you haven't done a lot of these shows and you're not well known with the people who are the middlemen when it comes to these shows, you're not going to reach anywhere.
Well, yes, I think this world is a bit too far away for me personally, because I don't even put that many photos or videos on Instagram itself. I don't. I'm not,
and you need
I'm
to.
not that
You have this conversation.
I need to, but the thing is, for me personally, nothing wrong with it. I would like to do it more often than I do already, but for me, it's more about putting my work out there rather than myself, because I don't want to be the face in a way. Even though that's really important to build your own brand, and it's something which I'm getting at, but it's just not my natural inclination. Doesn't make any sense.
See, what I have studied in these recent events of Instagram Reels, why would someone XYZ who doesn't know us come listen to a podcast?
To get entertained.
I mean, I personally would listen to someone's podcast if I know them.
Yeah.
If I know Joe Rogan because of UFC. I know Logan Paul because of YouTube. I know who was that guy? The shoe company, clothing company. Jaywalking, yeah.
So
the guy who owns Jaywalking, even he's doing a podcast. Why would I watch that podcast? Because he's the owner of Jaywalking.
Exactly.
So we need to have our own
identities so that someone can know us through it.
Exactly.
But that's the thing, right? A lot of people who are successful podcast hosts, it's not their first rodeo, it's their side hustle. They're already successful in some other thing. So what we're trying to do is, this is our primary platform. So what happens is, it's harder for us to get an audience without doing something else by itself. Some people are musicians, some people are actors, some people are YouTubers, some people are gamers, or maybe something else. And then they get into podcasting. So they already have an audience. But it's fine. I think what we're doing is good over here. Yeah, and I don't see any problem with it.
Just to keep us motivated, I need you guys to, again, the drill of liking, subscribing, and commenting.
Yeah, definitely.
But commenting is the most important for us. Commenting and sharing is the most.
Commenting and sharing is the most important. Because it actually shows you that how much people were interested as they watched the content. And not just comments. The best part about the first episode was that because of the first episode, I was able to reconnect with a lot of people who I haven't spoken to in years.
Likewise.
And that's such a beautiful feeling, because when they tell you that they enjoyed what you put out, even when you have not spoken for so long, it's really humbling. And I'm super grateful for all the people who reached out and talked to us about it. And it's just a good feeling, man. It's something which makes us keep coming back and do this thing all over again. And hopefully more regularly from now on. Also grateful for the 2-3 comments, the hate comments which we got. I think they really matter to me even more than the good ones.
Even on this reel, we got a hate comment that we are trying to follow Westerners. What sense does that make?
One guy was saying that we are acting like wannabes. So here's the thing, right? One guy came up to me and he told me that you guys are Indians. You guys live in India. There's such a large population that doesn't speak English. Why are you doing your podcast in English? So for that person, for the others who might be curious, we just want to cater to a bigger audience. Hindi bhi hame utni bolni aati hai, zyada hi aati hai, because that's what we used to talk to each other normally off camera. Nothing wrong with that. It's just that we want to cater to a wider audience.
We'll be so much more comfortable speaking in Hindi.
Of course.
But then again, the people who are going to watch our podcast can speak English as a second language.
Yeah. So and we just don't want to limit our demographic.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what.
There's nothing about nationality with it. People want to bring everything towards the nationality.
We
are more passionate about our country.
I'm very patriotic. I'm very patriotic.
Our reel, which got the most hits, 16,000 views and counting, is about our national pride.
Exactly.
Right?
And I just voted as well. Please, if you didn't vote, do vote next time.
Yeah, I mean, I would support that. Not something which I do by myself.
Okay, you were said you had to share a story on why you don't vote.
No, so the thing is, I would not recommend anyone to not vote, because as it's said that it's being, complacent or being an irresponsible citizen of the country.
Yeah.
But my thesis around it is, first, why is it not online still? Second, Can I get a public decentralized record on a decentralized blockchain where all the votes are coming in and being counted and the tally is done in front of us rather than in booths behind the houses? I don't know where the vote goes. I don't know where my vote went. I don't know how it works. I'm sorry. Maybe you who are watching might be more aware about it, but I have no information.
So the first thing that you said, why isn't it online?
Yeah.
I don't think it can be online in a long time because
Why
of how,
not, dude? Just
because of
KY
a literacy rate, dude. We're not
Dude,
there.
what do you mean by a literacy rate?
Dude, we're
man?
not there. Education.
Yeah.
If you're well educated, you can also, that does manipulate your usage of phone and mobile phones.
Bro,
and
the
laptops.
so-called educated urban people are the people who vote the least.
That is true. But then again, I don't want. See, the thing is,
Yeah.
there should be an option for online voting.
Yeah.
But physical voting is what will.
Honestly, like, why can't there be an online counter which shows your name with a KYC with your photo that this is where your vote went?
Because of Australian ballot, because you cannot show as with your identity who you voted, because that can come back at you and someone can beat you up.
Bro, people who are gonna beat you up for your political affiliations and support are gonna do it regardless.
And that is why Australian ballot exists. See, the thing is, what you said about the blockchain, about
Yeah,
voting,
yeah.
about votes coming in
Yeah.
for every party, and then there's a live count. That would make sense because no names are being disclosed.
Exactly, right? That only makes sense.
That would make sense, but we are way away from that.
I'm sorry.
But that can also be.
Dude, I keep coming back to the whole blockchain thing. I don't want to talk about it again because it's pretty much non-existent in India.
Online can be manipulated, but blockchains cannot be manipulated so easily.
That's what I'm saying, right? Do one thing. Take a vote. Make everyone has Geo these days, right? Everyone has internet on their phone. There's nothing to do with how literate someone is. Everyone has internet. So just make a wallet, cast your vote, do the digital signature. It shows up on any public blockchain, be it ETH, be it Ethereum or anything else. And that's there for everyone to see.
Most people who have the people you try and talk about.
I know this sounds too utopian.
It is pretty utopian.
Because a lot of people still don't know how to use Paytm. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So they're only using their mobiles to upload a TikTok reel or to call someone. That is it. There's no other usage of their mobile phones or smartphones. So that's the majority of the mobile users in India. There's not much knowledge or I'd say expertise in people knowing how to use mobile phones to their full capacity. I have a very expensive phone, even I don't know how to use this to a full capacity, to be very honest.
Yeah,
so
makes sense.
We have to first literate people about how these machines work. And that's very
But that's a whole different topic.
20, 25 years, 30, 50, actually 50 years down the line, maybe you'll get to see blockchain voting happen.
Yeah, I hope so. I think it happens in the next decade or it never happens, honestly. Because, India is now launching its own CBDC. It's centralized, like digital currency. So we have a digital rupee now. And people are really bullish and people are really happy about it that now our rupee is more digital and everything. But have you ever thought about the negative aspects of it?
It's getting centralized, right?
It is getting centralized, but do you know what are the shortcomings of it? Can you think of anything? I'll tell you. Now, censorship becomes more easy. I'm not an advocate for fiat money. I'm not saying cash is superior. It's not. But what I'm saying is, write something against the wrong political party on a social media platform. In the next minute, your bank account gets freezed. What are you going to do about it? Go for it. It happened in Canada. It happened at the truckers' protest, where the people's bank accounts were frozen and the crypto wallets were seized because they were, doing XYZ. So before someone has been properly legally incriminated, people's accounts can be frozen. And this is where things like stable coins, and again, I don't want to get into crypto and everything, but those things are important. It's not just speculation, man. There are some reasons why those things exist. And my job as an individual is just to promote awareness. Do you? Honestly, do you? I'm not telling you to do this or do that. Do you? But be aware.
How many people do you think will actually use centralized money? Centralized digital money?
So here's a bold prediction, right? I think there's going to be another round of demonetization. And that will be the final nail in the coffin. As everyone is forced to go online completely. and then there's nothing you can do about it.
I feel like that's gonna happen so many years down the line.
Yeah, because we have a parallel cash economy that runs along with all the things we do already, but it's inevitable.
Is it inevitable in every country or just ours?
All the countries which are, more progressive in a way, I guess.
Not America.
Is America progressive?
I mean, look, America is it is where it needs to be, and everyone is basically aiming to be where America is right now. So any first world country is not progressive.
My point is, what does exactly progressive mean? Does it mean we're going forward? And if it means going forward, does it mean going in the right direction? Because what would be a right direction for one country, for China, it might not be for India. So maybe one is progressive and the other isn't. So I don't think there's any clear definition to it. But what I do mean by that is, anyone who's hard into technology is going to be looking at blockchains and decentralized ledgers years down the line. So let's see how that works.
I mean, I'm actually staggered by the fact on how easily our citizens have shifted to Paytm.
It's amazing.
I'm actually
amazing.
really happy. There's every nukkad wala.
Yeah.
Every nukkad wala. Nukkad wala is people who sell chai and other stuff.
Podcast hosts.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
And even like the people who play dhol on shadis.
Yeah.
On weddings. So they have a sticker of their Paytm if you don't have cash to throw.
Paytm and UPI, the technologies that we have in India, the payment systems and the banking, it's really fast and it's really more advanced than a lot of the first world countries out there. UPI is amazing. And I'm really confident in its future and how the tech is evolving in our country. But again, that's the whole centralized, decentralized argument. That's something else. But UPI is pretty good. I think we have come far with the onset of Jio and everyone having Paytm and Google Pay and Bheem UPI. I think
I kind of wanted to shift to a different topic altogether.
So we were initially talking about Kanye West, right?
Yeah.
So what surrounds Kanye West? He was a fashion mogul and he was a music mogul.
And he's also a lot into spirituality.
Spirituality. Do you want to go straight to spirituality or do you want to start off with the culture part of it, like the music or
what
fashion?
you suggest? I'm fine with that. Whatever you want to go with.
We can start off a little bit by the music part of it.
Sure,
because a lot of people asked me to talk about music, which we did initially.
Yeah, we can do that.
So, any new albums, any new artists which you listen
I just listened to Her Loss, and it was the most mid album I could ever think
That's
of.
a hot take. That's a hot take.
Her Loss is very mid. The album which Metro Woman released right now, I don't know what's the name of it. It's a good album.
I love that.
That is good
that.
music.
I've been listening to it.
That is good music.
Yep.
Compared to Her Loss is
it's a good album.
Trash.
I think in the last 4 years, this is the first Drake album which I actually went through completely.
Okay. Drake has not put good music since 2018. So that's
what I said 4 years. That's what I said 4 years.
This is not a good statement.
I think he doesn't have much to prove anymore. I'm not supporting him blindly, but if it's good music, it's good music.
Tell me 2 songs that you liked in Her Loss.
I liked the Spin About You, and I liked that Middle of the Ocean, and I liked the Rich Flex, and one more.
Pussy and Millions, everyone liked.
Yeah, and
Pussy
the one, I Guess It's Me, I think that was a pretty good song.
I liked I Guess It's Me, I Guess what song?
I Guess It's Me.
I Guess It's Me. Yeah. I like that song, and I also liked Circo Loco.
Yeah, because it has the whole Daft Punk thing.
Kind of music.
That was a good sample.
So, these are the only 2 songs that I really liked.
So, there's the thing, right? There are a lot of people who like to review music. They like to write blogs about it. They like to make reaction videos
Anthony Fantano.
Yeah, but I have a problem with that. Not that it matters, but my problem with that is a few years back, like I told you, I tried writing a few songs with a friend of mine. It was at that moment that I realized that how hard it is to compose something. Even what we're doing right now is hard. Producing any kind of content is a difficult job. The only attribute that's relevant for any song is that if it sounds good or not. I see a lot of people critiquing, oh, this guy has a lot of auto-tune, oh, this guy has no bass, oh, this guy is doing this guy has a ghostwriter. Does it matter? I don't think so. If it sounds good, it's good. You're paying for Spotify, you have an unlimited library to access. If it sounds good, it's good. What are you bitching about? I don't get it. Personally. What do you think?
I'm a Ye fan, right?
Yeah.
And when the album Ye dropped in 2018, I loved it. I loved every single production element, every single song in it.
Yeah.
And I used to really listen to this. I used to listen to the song "Violent Crimes" on loop.
Yeah, I've heard it.
And it's about Kanye's story of being a father now and how he used to look at women
yeah.
differently. Now it's completely different now that he has a daughter.
And now that he's talking about Nazis. Never mind.
Never
Yeah, yeah,
mind.
yeah.
But that was a very personal song on how he wants his daughter to stick to Pilates and not do yoga, and trying to make a statement on how hard it is to be a father,
Yep.
especially when you have a daughter.
Okay.
It was like a jump around with being a protective father. So I really like that song. I thought it was extremely, extremely personal, and I kept listening to it on a loop. It had good production value, like every Kanye song ever.
Yeah.
But I then realized that it was ghost written.
I feel he's a better producer than a.
He was a producer first, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He produced music first.
He's a better producer than a lyricist.
He's produced music of Pharrell, Jay-Z, so many great artists.
And that's how he got signed initially to Jay-Z.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when I got to know that such a personal song can be ghost written, I was
everything
can
be outsourced.
Only then I realized that I need to differentiate the art from the artist.
But yeah, exactly. But does it matter if it's ghost written or not?
Every Drake song has almost every other Drake song was ghost written.
But that's the thing, right? If it sounds good, it's good in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of people complain about Travis Scott that he uses autotune. So what? Does it matter? That's what T-Pain did. That's what he's doing. That's what a lot of other artists are doing. And if you've ever tried using autotune by yourself, you will know how hard it is to maneuver it in a way that it sounds good to other people. So I think it's a tough task, and it's much easier to critique someone, even though that's what we're doing for the majority part of this episode. But it's much more easier to critique someone than to actually create something by yourself.
Yeah, Travis Scott's. I would go as far as to say that Travis Scott has completely mastered the art of autotune.
I think autotune has become an acceptable genre because of him.
Exactly.
And even though it started off with T-Pain, all respect to him, but he has carried the flame, the torch forward. That's what I think.
He's completely revolutionized the game when it comes to rap. And have you heard his like earlier stuff? Yeah,
I've heard the album in which there was Antidote and stuff. And my favorite Travis Scott song would be "Drugs You Should Try It." Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Dude, I love it.
Drugs You Should Try It.
Yeah, I love that song. Dude.
I love that. Have you listened to this one song? Keep speaking. I want to talk about this one song. I really liked it.
So, as we're talking about Travis Scott, the problem is, a lot of people tend to forget artists if they don't put out a good song, right?
Days Before Rodeo.
Yeah, Days Before Rodeo. That's a great album. One of his best works, definitely. And I also like the Birds in the Trap sing McKnight. It's pretty nice. And Astroworld, how can you forget
Astroworld is,
The best part is Astroworld didn't win a Grammy and Cardi B won.
Cardi B won.
That was outrageous.
Even Cardi B fans were like, what?
Exactly. It's fine. I don't think these institutions really matter that much.
We've seen Ye pissing in a Grammy award. He's been...
Yeah.
So people, there's this great saying that people call Ye crazy, but they never call him a liar. I think that's very deep.
Because I think there is some sort of truth in everything he says. Yeah, but maybe the delivery is not so socially acceptable. That's what happens with Andrew Tate as well, right? Because a lot of the times what they're trying to convey makes a lot of sense, but the way they convey to other people has so much masala to it.
There's a lot of delusion when Kanye says something. A lot of delusion. That's why I said that he definitely has a mental. I'm forgetting the term, but it basically means that everyone around you is plotting against you, and that's what keep that.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Oh, wow. Even I've forgotten the word. Paranoid. He's paranoid.
Paranoia is the word, but there's a very specific scientific term which I learned in psychology.
Right.
This in the 12th grade. But I'm forgetting.
But it's fine. Drake, yeah. I think the greatest. Okay. Who is the greatest artist currently living?
That's vague, dude.
It's a very vague question, but if you just had to put one up there, like the Michael Jackson of our parents' era, who's that guy now? I think it's The Weeknd.
Yeah, I'd say so too.
I think The Weeknd has to be the Michael Jackson of our era, easily. Maybe bigger when it all ends. Maybe bigger.
If it wasn't for The Weeknd, I would have gone with Bruno Mars, but he doesn't have enough influence as The Weeknd does. I think I don't know anyone who doesn't like The Weeknd.
Exactly, it just doesn't happen that way. It's more of a fanboy moment for us. The Weeknd should come to India. He should definitely come to India. I don't think
he'll ever come to India, dude. Remember when you were waiting for the Lollapaloozas line out?
But it was so bad.
We thought that Kanye and The Weeknd were showing up, and J. Cole as well.
I mean, not all of them together, at least one of the three, then I would have definitely gone. But
Same.
the headliner is Imagine Dragons. Great band, but you won't go to Mumbai for Imagine Dragons, right? I mean,
Exactly.
I wouldn't personally.
No, me either.
Yeah.
There are some great artists and the Strokes, Cigarettes After Sex.
Yeah.
So that's
But
about it.
I've heard like only 2 songs from them, Cigarettes After Sex. So yeah, I can't really say much on that.
Fair enough. I was actually hoping for Metallica to come because Metallica performs.
You remember when they came to India or somewhere else in India a long time
they
back,
just left.
and people just burned all the equipment on the stage, and
Yeah, because they didn't perform.
because a barricade broke, and then they just left.
Yeah.
And that was a statement.
I don't think they'll ever come back to India after that. But I really want to see a rock artist or rock band perform. But I don't think I'm gonna get to see it in India itself.
Definitely, dude. Definitely. Artists, music, fashion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about fashion?
I feel like I'm not too inclined. I'm not too involved with fashion. I'm not like I have a very basic sense of fashion. I wear something that looks like what a 40-year-old man would wear.
Are you brand conscious?
A little bit, I would say. I'm a little brand conscious. Like I have a brand that I like a lot, like my favorite brand.
Okay.
So if there's anything if I'm going to wear something special on a special day,
Yep.
I would wear it from that brand. But that won't make it that. I don't know if that would make me brand conscious though.
Right.
But because right now I'm not wearing any branded clothes or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's not really. It never really connected my consciousness that I'm not wearing anything branded. But
so I don't think I have. Fashion is definitely not one of my areas of expertise. My mom's a designer, and I have a few good friends who went to fashion school.
What does she design?
My mom designs Indian ethnic wear mainly.
Oh, all right.
So yeah, so she has. That's one of her areas of expertise. I have a lot of friends who graduated from fashion schools. They know a lot about fashion. Definitely not my area of expertise, but what I do know is it's all about what looks good on you. Yeah. As generic as that sounds, it doesn't always have to be branded.
100%.
But I don't think we have that thrift store concept in India that much. Or do we? I don't think we do.
There are these stores in Horse Village which have kind of sort of thrifted material.
Yeah.
But it's still, again, it's very low quality. It's misprinted.
So that's what I'm saying, right? Abroad, when people go to thrift shopping and things like that, I think those things are pretty interesting. And I think it's an adventure by itself when you go to a store and you pick something and you find something vintage at a good price. So much
history behind it.
Exactly. And not just that, you find something which is aesthetically pleasing without selling your own soul for it. That's amazing. So, but I think the entire hypebeast culture has ruined a lot of it. I used to be a big fan of Jordans and stuff like that, but now I can't be bothered, honestly, because anything that I like is sold out.
I am wearing a nice, fairly expensive shoes.
You're wearing an NMD, right?
But I've bought these shoes for soul comfort.
But that's what I'm saying, right? The point is, I used to be really passionate about sneakers and things like that. I don't wish to pay resale. Luckily, I have a few friends who run bots and stuff. They can get me stuff for retail, but I'm still not interested anymore. Because it's not... Okay, a hot take. Air Jordan 1s are pretty uncomfortable.
Oh, they are 100%.
Maybe it's not a hot take anymore because a lot of people do seem to be
resonating. They are very uncomfortable. Slipping a shoe in those...
It feels like a cardboard box. It's not even a shoe anymore.
Slipping your feet in the shoes to not crease up the leather is a whole journey itself.
And you know the sad part about Nike is... Their biggest competition is now gone. So now further, they're not going to innovate anymore. Kanye is gone. Yeezy is going to lose its hype. So now they don't have any incentive to make better shoes.
So the thing is, they're still in legal competition. So Yeezy still may not be a thing.
But they'll sell the same shoes, but there won't be any further innovation, right? Because I don't think it's going to be the same anymore without Kanye.
I think so too.
So the sad part is that now Nike has more leverage than them. And now again, they'll go back to reskinning Air Jordan 1s again and again and sell the same thing, which they're selling for the last 40 years, which feels like a plank on my foot. And I absolutely hate it. As much as I love the look of it, they're not comfortable anymore. They're not. And it's not just very appealing to me anymore. I bought the Blazers a while back. It's been a year. These are comfortable. These are nice, normal, regular Nike shoes. I have lost the appeal and lost the appetite for Jordan, personally.
So, Air Jordan 1s don't have their sole purpose as being comfortable. They're not comfortable shoes. They never were. But they're there to show they're like a showpiece. No one's
Exactly.
buying Air Jordan 1s too.
But as a multi-billion-dollar company in 2022, would you not focus on the innovation of your footwear? I think you would. They can definitely make it a bit more comfortable, or can they not?
I think the Air Jordan lines is something that if it's a masterpiece, it should not be dealt with. It should not be deviated. It should not be changed.
But the masterpieces are the original Chicago ones, the original bread toes. Those are the masterpieces, right? Or the 11s. These are some of the old historical shoes, but the new ones, they should be a bit more comfortable, right? You can do a bit more than that.
I think except the colorways, changing the colorways, they can. But then again, dude, I would not buy another pair of Jordans. I would have this friend who is a reseller.
Yeah.
And he got lucky with one of the V2s that launched 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
He got like
that was a good
shoe.
shoe.
Like 3 to 4 pairs of it.
That was a good shoe.
He got like 3 to 4 pairs of it.
Yeah.
And I think he got it for 25 to 30K retail. And he tripled on each shoe, dude.
That's amazing.
Tripled on each shoe. And you know what he was doing? You know what he told? He called me up and said, I've paid these guys for a fool. These guys are idiots. So like you in a way, you guys are not people who think that they value themselves because of article of clothing. They're not really that valuable.
I mean, it's fine because it adds to your self-confidence, right? Because when you buy a good article of clothing, when you put on makeup, when you do anything like that, it adds to your own self-confidence. Nothing wrong with it. But it's just that personally, I have lost the appeal for it. People should do them. It's fine. I'm not saying that do as I do, but it just has lost the charm for me. I'm looking at I'm more into New Balance now. I like New Balance.
Oh, me too, dude. I like these suede brown colored New Balance.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's Jack Harlow or what, but I think there should be more competitors in this industry. New Balance is good. I think Skechers were also doing some of their own thing, but I don't know how prominent they are.
Yeah.
Maybe there should be more brands. I think Nike and Adidas, it's just a bit too oversaturated now, personally.
You mentioned a very controversial name as well, Jack Harlow. There's this term throwing around in the music industry called an industry
plant. Yeah. I don't know how that works personally. I don't get the concept.
It's basically gunning on a potential candidate for another Drake or another Kanye, and just a lot of people behind him or her. Like the girl who sang "Feeling You," Ice Spice, I think. Ice Spice.
You told me about this thing.
Sorry, I was feeling you.
Yeah.
That song, and so she is pretty average. I like Jack Harlow. I like his music.
Yeah, he's good.
I think she's only had one good song, and she's got so much attention for it. So much attention for one song, and all these signing companies want to get connected with her. Even Drake was kind of.
Drake is everywhere. Drake is everywhere.
Drake followed her, met her, came back and followed her.
Something I would do.
Something happened there. But they're getting so much more attention, and they just like kind of shove it in your face. Look at this artist, this new artist you like.
Yeah.
And they're usually very attractive. That is why they kind of gun for these people, because sex sells.
Definitely. But I don't think there's any way to ever find out what the true reality of these people are. So maybe if they're putting out good music, again, doesn't matter. I don't think it does. And I think the people who are complaining about it are artists who are on the come up, but maybe are not able to get forward because of their industry plans. So I empathize with them, but that's what happens in every industry, right? That's what happens in corporate. You get a good job because you know the right people.
That's true.
Exactly. I've seen people getting rejected on interviews and getting back another one right away at the same company because they knew someone over there.
Yeah.
So that's how life goes. That's how connections work, right? That's how a network works.
What does piss me off is when these new artists or industry plans get more recognition,
attention and credibility than the raw talent.
Than the talent that has existed for a long time. Like Tyler, the Creator.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy, he does release very limited amount of music and videos. But when he does, he gets like 10 million views or 15 million views on each video. That's just not that.
But I think it's about
hundreds of millions of views.
No, but it's about being more relevant, and it's about PR and marketing also, right? I'll give you an example. We got 800 plays on YouTube on our first episode, right? There are people who have been doing podcasts for years and have hundreds of episodes who have never got more than 100 views. Why did we get 800 views on YouTube? That's because we were fortunate enough to know a lot of people who share that content further. We're grateful for that. That's how life goes, right? You know more people, you get more opportunities, and there's nothing we can do about it. So moving on. One topic which was brought to my attention, and there was a lot of emphasis on it, was that we should talk about mental health. So I know it's a bit ironic because in the beginning of the episode I called someone. Now I'm going to talk about mental health.
Why did you start speaking so slowly and lightly?
But the thing is, it's a very serious topic for me, for you, for everyone else.
100%.
And we understand how important it is and how much it should be, normalized in today's world. Because, see, there are a lot of therapists, there are a lot of people, but what's more important than therapy, in my opinion, is the people who you talk to on a regular basis, right? It's not your enemy. It's not the people who wish bad for you, who are bad for your mental health. It's the people who you consider close friends, who might not have intentions which you thought they do, who are harmful for you.
And those are the people who you would naturally share and open up with.
Yeah.
I can never imagine going to someone's office in a very professional setting. I'm paying by the hour. I'm meeting this person for the first time in my life. And I'm just opening up about my deepest, darkest secrets that I don't even tell myself.
But maybe that's a good thing, right? Because you might be scared of telling them to people who you already know, because you might think that they would snitch or, leak that information to someone they're not supposed to. Maybe a person who's a professional, you're more confident about telling them these things.
That's why you said that you are more likely to be hurt by the people you're closest to.
Also, there's a trade-off. Since you don't know them already, they might not be able to empathize with you on that deeper level. There's a trade-off. And also you have to pay them. So there's always that money element in between. But I think it's a really important thing. Therapy should be more normalized. I have a bunch of friends who've gone for therapy and who are still seeking therapy, and their life has dramatically improved, and I'm happy for them. So there's something which should definitely be more affordable and more normalized. And I just want to point it out that, okay, we're not any therapists or anything. We just screw around. But if there's anything that anyone wants to talk to us about, come on our show, or maybe just DM us or talk to us individually. Feel free to reach out to us on wherever you can find us. Just reach out to us. I'm always open to have a conversation with anyone. And jokes and all aside, when it's serious, I know when to get serious and when not to get serious. So hopefully I'm able to help people out this way. And you too.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like I'd become very overwhelmed when someone opens up to me about their mental health.
The deepest, darkest secrets.
But I know some people who have been on the verge of suicide, and what they just need to be reminded of their potential. Sometimes they just need to be reminded of how much they matter. So but it's easier said than done, right? Because it's like telling a fat person go to the gym. It is easier said than done. You have to word it in a different way. But you have to be the main thing about people who are not mentally stable. You have to be a bit cautious around everyone. I think you need to lend your ear more. You need to stop, giving your opinions about everything as soon as you hear them. Stop developing a defense mechanism and start lending an ear more than
that's what happens. We as individuals, when someone is talking, what do? I'll speak for myself. If someone is talking, my first instinct is to think of a reply. Okay, what am I going to say next?
Exactly.
Whereas the reality is, what you should be doing is first paying your full undivided attention to that person, be a good listener, and then talk about it. Even though this is the most ideal outcome, easier said than done, but this is something which everyone should strive for. And speaking on this topic, mental health, it's one thing how your mental health is affected by your real life shenanigans, but it's another thing how it's affected online. I think online is a bigger part than ever, say after COVID. So what my advice to a lot of people is, please make use of the block button. You have been given a remarkable opportunity by the devs of these platforms. Just start blocking people. It's not that hard. Do you block people often?
Not really, because I've not really dealt with cyber bullies or...
It's not just about, getting bullied. Like, if you're having a really bad time after looking at someone's story, or you start comparing yourself with them, maybe just mute them. Mute them.
I tend to not look at their stories. I've never had this, this has never occurred to me, but even if it did, I would just try to cut down on me stalking them or following them.
Yeah.
So
Because I
closely.
think it's pretty normal, right? A lot of our friends went abroad after school and after college. It's very normal that when they're gonna have something, eat something, they put a story, or they go out to a club in Europe or wherever, and they put a story. Subconsciously, when we look at that, we start comparing our lives with them. They're like, okay, I'm still at home. Why am I still in Delhi? Why am I still in Noida? Why am I not in the US? And it's pretty normal. But the point is, these things compound over time. And over time, when you look at the same story 100, 200 times, somewhere deep down, it starts hurting you and pinching you that there's something missing in your life.
Mm.
So maybe start using the mute button a bit more. Maybe start blocking people who directly affect you or damage you or attack you. And then you will have a better
But don't you
time.
think that leads to a lack of growth?
Definitely. It does. So there's a trade-off for that. But you need to balance out. Sometimes it gets too much for you.
Yeah, of course, when it gets too much, you need to draw
Like
a
blocking
line.
an ex.
Again, it's easier said than done. Drawing a line is easier said than done.
Yeah.
But once that person's existence is running through your mind 24/7 and you can't function the way you usually do,
Yeah.
then that is where you should draw the line. That is an example that I'm giving. You can gauge for yourself and decide for yourself, but that is where I would draw the line.
Yeah, looking at other people and learning how to not compare yourselves with them is also a very important skill, because this way you're actually more geared up for real life. Because you always can't just hide from everything which you don't like at first sight. You can't always block or mute people. But it should be more normalized. Personally, what I do is, I don't block people. But sometimes, if I'm seeing too much of something, I would mute them for a few days. And it works. It works. It definitely works. So, something I would encourage other people to try. So that's about your online thing. Do you believe that we are an average of the 5 people we spend most of our time with?
Excuse me?
That we are an average product of the 5 people we spend most of our time with?
100%. I am. So this is very. So I have 3 friends. So we're 3 friends, me and 2 other friends.
Okay.
And we 3 of us are basically a byproduct of each other.
Okay.
I am basically the one who lies in the middle. Both of them lie in a different spectrum altogether in life, may it be relationships or work ethic.
Do they share the same belief?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. If you'd call them up and ask them, are you guys similar? How similar you guys are? They would say, we literally grew up together. So that is why through our shared experiences, we may have learned different values from each experience, which has been similar, but it can't deviate so much. So that is why I'd say that I lie somewhere in the middle, and the other 2 lie in a different spectrum altogether.
Okay.
So that is very true. I think you need to. That's why your forefathers, your grandparents, your siblings would say, choose your company.
Yeah.
Because they define who you are. They define your personality.
We were talking about mental health, right? Have you ever had a period in life where, if not clinically, at least you felt depressed? It could be over a breakup, it could be over a loss, it could be anything.
I feel like I was a bit. I think I'm going to open up a lot with this topic.
Sure.
So I feel like I was extremely sad. I don't know if I can throw around the word depression, because depression has been thrown around so much.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I said if not clinically depressed,
it's now a pop culture reference. Being depressed is like a pop culture reference now. So when I was in 10th, 11th, I was going through my first breakup, first relationship, only relationship.
Yeah.
And then I was going through an identity crisis, because there were these rumors going around my social circle that...
About rumors, did you ever find out who spread them?
Yeah, my ex-girlfriend did.
Oh.
And
amazing.
There were rumors about my character, about who I am and who I identify as. And I always tried to be as this complete gentleman, soft-spoken guy, always opens the door.
But does it ever get tiring though?
When you like someone so much, it never did.
No, but generally.
Being
the nice guy.
I believe it. I learned that being the nice guy is not the right choice to with every girl that you meet. So I always try to be the better person. I always try to be the bigger person.
Yeah.
But when I got to heard about, when I heard about these rumors,
Yeah.
I was struck, dude. Because I trusted this person for almost a year, and I was really sad about it. So I confronted them, and when I confronted, I wasn't. I forgot about my soft spokenness. I forgot about everything.
And that was the real you.
And that was the real me,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And then I did not get the reaction I was expecting.
Yeah. What'd she say?
She broke down, started crying.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am sorry.
So what?
I was like,
no,
I am
but if
sorry.
she broke down and you showed your true self, like you were angry,
Mm.
what reaction were you expecting?
I was expecting at least an apology.
Okay.
I was expecting an apology. That's about it. I wasn't really looking for anything
Good
else.
luck with that.
I was looking for clarity on why she would say that. But I realized that now there was complete miscommunication, dude.
Yeah.
It was mostly miscommunication from her part and mine. I wouldn't say that it's all her fault. It's my fault too. And rather than dwelling more upon the details.
So are you guys cool now?
We haven't talked in a while, but I think we're cool. I think if I see her again in anywhere, I'll be very civil with her.
That's good.
And I have been.
That's mature.
And I have been. I've been very civil with every girl that I've ever been with.
Yeah, that's how you should be, not like Chris Brown. Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I've definitely had such episodes in my life where I felt really down and felt like not talking to anyone, not opening up to anyone, not going out of the house at all, not just basically replying to anyone. I had these times in my life, certain weeks, certain months. Could be over a person, could be over a financial setback, could be over anything, could be over a bad decision that I took, could be over I hurt someone where I did not intend to do so. So these have happened with me, but the only thing which I have realized with such episodes is, as nihilistic as it sounds, at the end, it's just you for yourself, right? And only you can pull yourself out of this hole. And if you don't make a conscious decision, it's like that scene in the third Batman movie, right? When he goes out of the cave. Yeah. You are the person who has to pull yourself out of the hole. And that's when people could also be comfortable in helping you. No matter how much you want someone to pull you out, it's not possible. You need to make the conscious decision. Take it day by day, right? Change small habits every day. Go out. Meet new people. Really important. Meet new people. The best way to get over an ex or heartbreak is to meet new people. There's literally no other way around it. So do that. Do what you have to do. Take your time. And be better than you are. Be better than you were if it ever happens again. That's really important. We go through life progressing and learning a lot of things. But the problem is sometimes when we go through failure, we are again back to square one. You should always fall back forward. I don't know whose speech this was, but just fall back forward. I think that's really important.
Yeah, falling back is not an issue. Even if you stumble, fall back, you can always gather yourself.
Definitely.
And what I did went through afterwards is like a spiritual journey of really understanding of how important I am to oneself. You need to understand you're important to yourself.
So an introspective journey.
Yeah, very introspective.
Yeah.
And I realized that someone else's opinion shouldn't matter to me as much as my own. I should know who I am. I should
of course,
be aware of what my ideologies, and that's when I started to have concrete thoughts. I was like 16 years old. So that was the time I started having my own concrete opinions about things. And yeah, every setback is a new opportunity to begin.
Definitely. Every setback you face, every L you take, it adds further towards the next dub that you are able to get, right? So learning from your failure, most cliche thing ever, but it's not done as much as it's preached. You need to realize that the people who are in the conversation here, your ex-girlfriend or your ex-boyfriend, they're just regular kids like you. They don't know any better. They don't. Maybe they didn't intend to hurt you, right? Maybe they just care less. And if you broke off, maybe it's for the better. Because
100%.
It would have happened 20 years down the line. It would have been worse.
That's why I said it's neither of our faults. We were actually very immature that age. So it was complete miscommunication from
and some people are just there for a temporary, moment, for a temporary chapter, for a year, for a few months. And it's fine. I think that's just how life goes. You saw that meme the other day, which got popular, that my mental health for the next month
Yes.
depends on the
5'7"
on a 5'7" Argentinian
Argentinian
man.
man.
And that's true, dude. I really want the guy to win the last World Cup of his career.
I was talking to a couple of friends who have been watching the World Cup who have been following football since they were like 6 years old.
Yeah.
So they were like, this is fate.
This is fate.
He will win.
He should
he
win.
has to win.
Definitely.
He's the most talented footballer in the world. So if he doesn't win a World Cup, then
There's something wrong. There's something wrong.
I mean, obviously, there's a lot of muttering about Qatar.
Yeah.
FIFA being in Qatar and about corruption in FIFA.
Definitely.
Have you seen that Netflix documentary?
I haven't seen it, but I have read a lot about it at this point of now. So I think it's safe to assume that I know a little bit about it. But what's really funny to me is the news that came out before the World Cup started. Do you know? 2 days before the World Cup started, Qatar banned alcohol. Earlier, when people bought the tickets, they expected that they would be able to have beers in the stands. 2 days before, they're like, no beers. If you don't want to go, don't go, but no beers. And all the Europeans are like, this is our sport. How can you host our sport and then not let us have our drinks?
What are you expecting from a Muslim country? Why would they would never sell like a beer?
No, it's not even about the religious sentiment, dude. It's about being professional.
Yeah, they did play around. They did goofball them.
Bro, the tickets
did a prank on them.
Bro, the tickets are hella expensive. You can't even have your favorite beer while you're watching the 5'7" Argentinian.
And that's the OG combination, beer and football. Whenever you call someone over to watch football, you have beer.
Definitely.
So they did prank everyone. But I mean, that's pretty stupid to assume that they would serve alcohol. That's fairly stupid.
No, but then they shouldn't be saying ki we're gonna do it. Don't say one thing and do the other thing.
But Qatar, they would never. That's something that's so out there. Like, they would never serve alcohol. It's
sad.
Against their religion. Like, it's against everything they stand for.
But when something like football gets mixed with religion, it's really sad. It's such a pure sport. Why can't people enjoy?
Religion ruins everything.
Religion, mob mentality, herd mentality. It's at the crux of everything. It's at the crux of brands. Moving on. There was this one guy. I think you spoke about him before we started recording. I'm not sure which we wanted to talk about. It's not coming back in mind. Do you have any other topics in your head right away?
Do you want to talk about spirituality?
Yeah, let's go for it.
So are you a spiritual person? Do you believe in stars, sun signs like Virgo, Capricorn?
I don't really know what the exact definition for this term is. Can you help me with it a little bit? What does it mean to be spiritual or spirituality?
So, spirituality,
I think it has nothing to do with religion, right? It's more about being introspective and self-aware.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with religion, I'd say.
Yeah.
And some people would relate the whole horoscope thing to spirituality itself. But I think that's completely incorrect.
Horoscopes, very interesting topic.
Yeah, let's talk about horoscopes.
Texting a girl at 11:11 p.m. on 11th November
I've done that.
2011.
I've done that. But
make it look like that the universe called for this message and now you're both meant to be together for the rest of your lives.
One girl actually told me that angel numbers mean something. So
Of course it does. Of course.
I started sporting angel numbers all throughout my life. And I don't know, maybe it's the art of attraction. That once you do believe in these numbers, maybe that art of attraction does create the illusion of it being real. But would you say that you agree to what being a Capricorn is, as you would find on a website?
So what I would say is, I wouldn't necessarily agree with everything these people write about, but at the same time, my point is that your star sign or your horoscope is no excuse for you being rude to other people. Just admit it, right?
Oh my god, I'm a Scorpion. I'm just like this.
I'm a Scorpio, and that's why I'm so blunt with you. No, you're not blunt, dude. You're absolutely rude, and you have no ways or no means on how to conduct yourselves in a public place.
I'm an Aquarium, so I don't know how to.
Dude, you're not a Scorpio. You're rude. That's the bottom line. Is don't use your star sign as an excuse for deficiencies in your own personality. Don't do it.
100%.
Learn how to carry yourself in a public place. In a public place with 10 other people, I know how to conduct myself. I won't be rude to another person or call out another person publicly or humiliate someone else just because I'm a Cancer or I'm a Scorpio. It doesn't work that way. Stop using it as an excuse, please. It's time to grow up.
I've had so many. I've had so many. Like whenever I talk to a new woman,
Yeah.
eventually she does ask me what's my sun sign, and I never tell them. I'm like, guess.
And whatever you say, it's right.
Oh, how did you assume I'm a Pisces? Oh, are you a Pisces?
Mhm.
No, I'm not a Pisces.
Mhm.
But it's always very fun and entertaining to see them spiral back down to having no idea about the conversation
Exactly.
and just assuming how I am.
I think it's something which is more of a filler topic that people can always talk about it, right? And I think people who write these things, like horoscope of the day and stuff like that, they're really talented people. I think they're good marketers.
Dude, they're amazing marketers.
Because even if you swap my sign with yours and we read our horoscope, we won't know the difference.
Exactly.
Because every single horoscope is written in such a way that you would tend to believe it.
It is so perfectly vague. It is just the right amount of vague and relatable it needs to be.
And it's one of the qualities which you need if you strive to be a politician. Saying a lot of things without really ever saying anything. It's a remarkable quality. And yeah, if you're in the showman business or you're a front face for something you should definitely work on.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I do read, I did read horoscope a couple of times on the news. I will say that I have done that.
Even I've done that. Even as on a bad day, I still do it. It's my way of coping.
Maybe it's just the stars.
When something goes wrong, it's you. No, when something goes wrong, it's the star sign. When something goes right, it's your hard work.
But I've read all the other, not just mine.
Yeah.
I've read the other star signs as well, and they're perfectly vague and relatable.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
surprising how well they can be written. The people who are watching us right now, they're probably assuming our star signs by the way.
Yeah, exactly. We already gave away mine.
Yeah, but I didn't think they got us. Also, have you ever had a talking about spirituality? Have you ever had a spooky?
Dude, about spooky encounters.
Spooky encounter, yeah.
I would say I've definitely seen things moving. Does that make any sense? I've seen things which I shouldn't be seeing moving. Like a random figure of a person. I've seen that maybe walking down the society or maybe sometimes at home. I'm not sure how do I say this. But I've felt stuff. But no, luckily, touch wood, no direct encounters. And honestly, if there's something supernatural around me, I don't want any smoke.
Yeah.
You do you, I'll do me.
It's crazy how these people can go to the washroom and write something with a lipstick on the mirror and do the Ouija board thing.
Bro, the problem is there's a friend in every friend group. When it hits 3 on the clock at night, he wants to find a ghost. And you know what the problem with such people are? One day they do.
Yeah.
One day they are actually successful and their whole life changes. Because then they're scarred forever.
Uh-huh.
So my advice is stop looking for ghosts and focus on real human beings. If you don't invade their personal space, they won't invade your personal space. I think it's pretty normal. Works with humans, should work with the supernatural entities. But have you ever had like a scary encounter?
Yeah, I've had this crazy scary encounters. It was insane. I couldn't believe it. I'll start from the very beginning. So when I was about 14, 15 years old, I used to have this dream.
A lot has happened with you when you were 15.
What do you mean? Oh yeah.
A lot has happened with
a
you.
lot of trauma.
15, yeah.
So when I was 14, 15, I used to have this dream pushing me from the ledge of my roof. And whenever I used to fall, I used to wake up. I was never facing the goddamn woman. I was always looking. I don't know why I was standing on the ledge in the first place. But every time I used to fall, wake up as soon as I hit the ground. And when I turned 18, this dream was very recurrent from 15 to 18. When I turned 18, I was sleeping on my back. I remember this very well.
Is it sleep paralysis?
I think it's a mix of sleep paralysis. I had.
Yeah.
So I was sleeping on my stomach, and I felt this weird weight on my back, like someone was sitting on me, something like that. So I was trying to move. I was trying to wiggle in my dream itself.
Okay.
And then I started to hear some whispers of how it was in Hindi. The whispers said they got me married very young.
Oh wow.
They got me married very young. And this kept repeating. They got me married very young, kept repeating, and just kept getting louder. They got me married very young. They got me married very young. until it became a scream, a howl. So I hit my head on my near my bed. I tried to wake up, but I think something knocked me out again.
Okay.
I did wake up briefly.
Was it like someone punched you in the face?
It's like my head hit something. No, it wasn't a fist. It was like a wooden slab.
So was it the back of your bed?
Yeah, it was the back of my bed.
Okay.
I probably jerked myself.
Were you alone at home?
I wasn't alone at home, but I was sleeping alone.
Yeah.
So I knocked myself out again, and then I see this very vague image of a woman wearing a burqa
Okay.
with bright blue eyes. So when I woke up, I was like, dude, this was a very weird experience. And let me draw out the whole detail.
Oh, you drew it.
I drew it. I drew everything what I saw in that image.
Dude, the one thing which I've learned is whenever something like this happens, it's best to not,
Indulge.
bring it to life
Indulge
by
in
actually
it, yeah.
drawing it. Yeah.
So I did draw it, and as I was drawing it, I drew the bed, I drew the man, I drew the light, I drew the table, I drew the chair, I drew the woman, and I drew the window.
Dude, are you that good at drawing things?
I wasn't good, but I imagined it well, so I could put it as a picture. And as I kept drawing it, I realized that it's my own room.
Oh,
From a different perspective.
Right. So maybe you remembered the whole image so vividly that you were able to recreate it on paper. Because it's not easy to draw the whole thing.
But I did, and I noticed the drawing. I didn't see anything else at this point.
Yeah.
I noticed the drawing.
Yeah.
And I saw the chair at the exact same position, the window, the curtains of the window in the exact same position, and the light, the switch, everything else was in the exact same position as in my room. So I went to my dadu, my grandfather. I asked him, I saw this very weird dream. I saw this woman. He's like, you know what, we'll get this. We'll talk to a priest and we'll get some puja in our house done. So I took this photo to my dad. But before showing anything to him, I said I had this very weird experience. I felt like I saw a woman who was approximately my age, but she was approximately my age. She had I don't know, her eyes were very apparent. She had bright blue eyes, and I didn't even complete my sentence. And my dad said, "Was she Muslim?"
Okay.
So he just assumed without me telling him that she was wearing a burqa in my dream. He guessed it himself.
So is there an off chance that he might have seen the same thing?
He did.
Oh wow.
So my house was constructed in 1970s when he was 1970 80s.
Is it the same house which you are in right now?
Yes. When he was 18. So he shifted in that house.
I'm
when
not
he was
coming
13.
back to your house again.
So he was shifted in that house when he was 13, 18. And he had the same exact same experience, my father. And he told me a bit more about this woman. And he said that she got married very young to a very old man. And she comes to young boys for refuge, for help. So this woman who has come in my father's dreams 40 years back, and it was insane. I guess still not puzzle back the pieces together on how I imagined this. I feel like there has to be a good reason as to why this all happened. There has to be a scientific reason, because
if I see something like this now, it's all going to be your fault. Trust me.
I mean, I'm very scientific when it comes to all this.
Yeah.
So I don't believe in ghosts. I do believe in spirits. I want to believe in spirits because I want to believe there's something after death.
Yeah.
But I'm a very skeptical person when it comes to supernatural things. So I was taken aback.
So how did it all go away?
As soon as I came of age, she just stopped approaching me. As soon as I turned older, 19, 20, 21, she stopped approaching me lesser. I even got to know her name after.
So the key detail in the story is that she was married young, and maybe somewhere in her head she wasn't, fine with it, and maybe used to come back, and that's why the spirit was not at peace.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story, right? That's how we started the podcast. That's why I said don't get married at 22. See, now you get it. That's what I'm saying.
But to be precise, she was like very young, married to a very old man.
Yeah.
To be precise, so that we can't relate to that. But it's crazy how well the mind can play us.
Yeah, definitely. That's what happens when people take trips, acid trips and stuff like that. Yeah? They are revealed more about themselves than the exterior world. And that's why it's said that if you have a bad trip, it can really screw you up. So that's why psychedelics should not be played around with and always be done in a good setting, with good people around. And if you're doing it for the first time, a music festival is not advisable. It's not advisable.
I've never tried psychedelics.
I haven't either.
I don't. I think I will. I think I will moving forward in life. I have to try it at least.
I think the right time to do it is when you're more calm mentally. Personally, 100%. I don't think I'm that calm mentally right now. So I fear a really bad trip. So that's why I'm not so much inclined towards it. But at the same time, I want to try new things. So that's that paradox again. But maybe later.
I've seen this documentary on Netflix where Carrie Fisher and A$AP Rocky, they all talk about their experience with psychedelics. And even they warn you about how bad a bad trip can get.
Exactly. People have died because
you can become autistic.
Yeah.
And you can become as they say.
Why would you say that?
Because, dude, society has become too soft, man. Yeah, you can't. We used to throw around the word so much 5-6 years ago. We used to call our friends, "You goddamn it, what are you doing?" And so, like, now it's gotten so.
Every time soft. You say it, we get demonetized a bit more.
We're too far from getting monetized yet, anyway.
Yeah, but
I've already said the N word out loud, but I think I'm a minority. I shouldn't say it.
I think we should move.
I think we should move on from that. It is terrifying. It is terrifying to think of ghosts, but it also puts me to peace when you think about afterlife, when you think there is something after death.
But thinking about the afterlife itself is so not peaceful to begin with, in my opinion.
I'm telling you, I'm very
scared of it.
Scared of death.
But don't you think that being scared of death is the only single primary thing that adds value to our lives?
That is very true.
Because just imagine.
You do things.
We wouldn't be hosting this thing right now, doing this, if we were to live 1,000 years more. We can always do it after 50 years. Why did we have to do it today? So I think the scarcity is the only component that adds value to life. And I would definitely want to enjoy something when it's all over. But I think there's a lot of time before that, hopefully. And we should make the most out of our time when we're here, rather than being worried about what's not under our control. Because we're never worried about where we came from.
Yeah.
Are we ever worried about the time when we didn't exist? We don't. Like, I was born in 2000. So I don't worry about why was I not existing in 1999. But I'm worried about the fact that I might not be existing in 2200. So I think it makes no sense personally for me. Or maybe this is my way of coping.
That's a gift and a curse, to be honest. I mean, it's more of a gift, in my opinion, because when the clock strikes 12 or 1, it's always coming in my head. Not always, but once in a blue moon, it does pop up in my head. What will happen when I open up Wikipedia? I'll look at all these doctors doing tests of all these scientists reporting some astral image. And like, I'm happy. I can go back to sleep now.
I'm not sure if this is a similar or relevant topic, but Elon Musk is now, he has said that the Neuralink. Are you aware of Neuralink?
Yeah.
So he's saying that the tests will begin after 6 months or something like that. So it's ready for humans to be tested upon.
Can you upload your consciousness to the link, to the Neuralink?
I'm not sure how that works, what the nitty-gritty details are, but what it does aim to do is to be able to cure brain deficiencies in a way, or something in your head. I don't know how to explain it without making a complete fool out of myself. If he's able to pull it off, hats off to him. But it's going to take a while.
I mean, I don't know much about Neuralink, so I can't really
add
anything to it.
But do you think that artificial intelligence or AI threatens our jobs in the future, or maybe in the next 5 years?
100%. I just saw this reel of this guy who was a janitor, and he saw this kind of a Roomba. You know what a Roomba is?
No, I don't.
Roomba is basically a vacuum cleaner, like an AI robot vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
You can buy it now for $30,000. So like a huge Roomba for the mall, and it was just cleaning all the crevices perfectly. And this guy is just standing there, seeing his job, the only thing he does, go completely redundant.
That's what's going to happen in the future as well. And there is only this one job which I want from the depths of my heart that AI takes away from a lot of people.
Which is that?
That's digital marketing.
Oh.
No, for real.
That's
For real though. Dude, I am
It's-
done. I'm done with the whole digital marketing facade. Like, stop it. What are you marketing? Are you buying ads on Instagram? That's what you do? Oh no, we do SEO and we do SEM. Dude, it's how are people
It is
doing
very accessible.
No, but
by
how are
to-
people doing so many courses and they're so and these are the same people who talk down on me. Oh, Dhananjay, are you having a good time in life? Are you doing something? Are you doing something right now? What are you doing? I'm doing digital marketing. I'm like, congrats, bro. Like, it's so boring and the concept is it's mind-numbing for me. If I hear digital marketing one more time from someone else, I'm pretty much going to stab myself.
And the irony is that we are both marketing majors.
And
in
I'll be
college.
honest, I'll be upfront about it, right? We both have a BBA degree from Symbiosis.
Yeah.
And I took that degree because it was the easiest degree which I could buy with money with going to a decent place. So it was easy, so I took it. I don't have any shame in it. And I think for someone who's doing a BCom honors, there's nothing to be proud about it. It's all the same. It's all about what you contribute to the world. That's how you make money. And I think I'm doing a fine job right now doing what I do. So I'm content.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
But I'm done with digital marketing experts.
And it's SEO, SEMs, and is something that can be very easily taken care of. Yeah,
Bro,
I don't see digital marketing to be a job for in another 10 years.
bro,
I don't
it
see
should not be a job right now. Like, what do these guys even do? I'm sorry, what do? You make a brochure? That's what you do? You make a brochure and you put it on your Instagram and you tag 30 friends and they share it.
I think it's a bit more complicated than that. Let's not put them down so much. Has to be
you
a
put the
bit more-
keywords, so you come up on the Google keywords. What more to
I
it?
mean, but at the end of the day, SEM was also a thing. You can
You-
just pay your way out of
What do you do?
keywords.
You make websites by using templates, and then you look at the bounce rate and I'm a digital marketing moderator for an Instagram page. Like, good job, bro. Have fun. Tell me about your busy work life as you digitally market. Use this products. I'm done, dude.
Alright, before we get any more controversial, I feel like we are already at a very healthy timestamp.
How much time has passed?
To more than 2 hours.
Are you serious?
More than 2 hours.
I thought we didn't even cross an hour by now.
More than 2 hours.
Then that means there's a lot of editing that needs to be done.
Tough work. More for you.
It's fine though. It's good. I enjoyed it.
But should we call it a day?
I think we should. Are there any afterthoughts? Anything you want to conclude this whole thing by saying?
I believe that in the next coming episodes, depending on the feedback we get, I think we can start having some guests.
Right. So now we have started, making a mental list of all the people which we will potentially be having over. So if you are someone who would like to come on our show, you have a story to share, you have something to tell us or something to show to the world. Not that we have such a huge platform yet, but reach out to us, DM me at Dhananjay Jo Show, DM him at Ahaan Mahant, or at our page at the Cuppa Jo Show. And we'll answer back for sure. And let's see, we can have a bunch of people on the show from next time. I think it would be more entertaining.
100%.
Would love to have people who would debate each other and bite each other's ears off,
Yeah.
and I would honestly love that.
They're from different expertise, from different backgrounds.
Definitely.
I would like to have someone from the digital marketing.
I
as
would
well.
love that. I would
Or
love
Dhananjay
that.
himself.
And lastly, I would just like to conclude this by saying that we had a good time. The most important part of this whole podcast is as we do it, we really enjoy it. And when we put it out and other people see it, they enjoy it. And that gives us a lot of hope for ourselves and this show. And that makes us really happy that people are enjoying it. So this Christmas, watch our episode with your family. So thank you guys. Thank you all for tuning in and catch you on the next one. Peace.
Merry Christmas.